80 to 90% of our seafood is now imported, and most of it enters our country unchecked. The FDA only inspects about 2% of the food that enters this country, leaving us vulnerable to toxic or disease-ridden fish. Many of them are raised in raw sewage in places like Vietnam. The few states that do inspect their imports have found that 40 to 50% of the fish brought in are unfit for human consumption. In the states that don't rigorously inspect their imports, those same contaminated or rotten fish are making their way to supermarkets and restaurants, ready for the dinner table. Could you be eating this toxic, disease-ridden fish without even knowing it? Fish, when safe, is one of the healthiest things you can eat. Unfortunately, it is nearly impossible to know where your fish is coming from, leaving us vulnerable to unchecked, toxic imports. There has been an increasing number of reports of restaurants and grocery stores substituting cheaper or more readily available fish without informing customers. But even the most reputable and well-intentioned merchants may have trouble providing safe fish, as the problem starts at our border. Importers are making huge sums of money by bringing in cheap, low-quality, or toxic fish. They do this because if they don't, their competitors will put them out of business. The same goes for the restaurants that buy and serve the fish. If they buy more expensive, safe fish, people will go elsewhere for the better prices. The main thing stopping us from inspecting more food is the lack of enough FDA inspectors. Unfortunately, the government does not currently have the funds to pay for more inspectors. It is stretched too thin as it is. We are already forced to borrow billions of dollars every year to meet our needs. But more inspectors do not have to be a burden on the taxpayer. A strategically calculated and implemented tariff or import fee could provide the much-needed funds to hire more inspectors, while making it less advantageous to dump cheap, dangerous, unregulated seafood in the United States. If an importer knows their shipment will be inspected and possibly rejected, that's a strong deterrent from attempting to ship less desirable seafood across our borders. Tariffs have needlessly gotten a bad rap in Washington from unfounded fears that reciprocity would start a trade war. Tariffs were previously one of the most successful tools we had, and there is no place they could better be implemented than on the food we bring into the country. We must demand that our legislators enact these tariffs to pay for more inspections. This is necessary for the good of our health and the well-being of our whole country. Call your representative and tell them you're concerned about the state of our nation's food. Talk to your friends and tell them to do the same.